There is a tax nobody names on a tax form, and it compounds from the day you are born. It does not appear in any contract, but it shapes every room you walk into before you say a word. It determines which doors open early, which conversations last longer, and which version of you people decide to believe. Researchers call it the attractiveness premium. The rest of us just call it life. Studies from 2025 confirm what most people already feel. Physically attractive individuals earn more, advance faster, and receive more favorable treatment in legal, medical, and financial settings. The gap between the bottom and the top of this scale is not measured in confidence. It is measured in compounding social capital that reinvests itself every single day. Most people live their entire lives inside one or two levels without ever mapping the system they are living inside. This is a map. It follows one woman across 9 levels of perceived attractiveness, and it tracks not just what changes socially, but what changes economically, professionally, and psychologically. The same person, different signals, radically different outcomes. And the question this video is actually asking is not how attractive someone is. The question is, once you understand the system, what do you do with that information? At level 1, there is no hostility. That is the part most people misunderstand. The world does not push you away at this level. It simply does not register your arrival. You walk into a room, and the room continues its existing conversations without any recalibration. You speak in a group, and the group responds to the person beside you as if your sentence were ambient noise. A photographer at a family event does not crop you out deliberately. The frame simply does not feel incomplete without you. This is the baseline, not ugly, not disliked. Economically and socially, you are furniture that has a pulse. You enter a social event where a friend beside you draws the room's attention naturally, the way a window draws light. People speak to him first, laugh at his setup lines before the punchline, lean toward him without deciding to. Someone glances in your direction once, not at you, past you, at the wall behind your shoulder. You go home and stand in front of a bathroom mirror and count slowly to 11 because it is the only number you fully control right now. At level 1, you do not understand yet that this floor is temporary. You only understand that you are standing on it. The investment begins. Skincare, a structured gym program. Research into nutrition protocols that most people never learn to pronounce. You are spending money and time in quantities that feel disproportionate to the visible return. This is the phase where the capital outlay is real and the compounding has not started yet. You compare yourself to people at higher levels, and the gap looks permanent because you are measuring outcome instead of trajectory. You find online communities where people analyze facial geometry with the precision of structural engineers assessing a building. Numbers, ratios, percentile rankings. You measure yourself. The result is somewhere in the middle of a scale you did not know existed 3 weeks ago. You spend 40 minutes editing a single photograph only to post it and receive a response from one person who loves you unconditionally. The photo does not represent your current level. It represents your aspiration, not your present market value. A woman at your workplace clarifies that she sees you as a friend during a conversation you were not steering romantically. 6 months earlier, she would not have needed to clarify. You did not register enough to require a boundary. The rejection is data. It means you have crossed a threshold. You have moved from invisible to noticeable enough to require a response. You are still early in the compounding curve. Early compounding is the phase that stops most people because the account balance looks insulting relative to the deposits. You go back to the gym on a day when you do not want to. That decision matters more than any single result the mirror shows. 8 months of consistent effort produces a change the world can see before you can fully see it yourself. Clothes fit differently, not dramatically, but you stop avoiding certain cuts. You buy a size without checking twice. You have one photograph from a good evening, good light, relaxed posture, the rare convergence of every favorable variable at once. That photograph is carrying a disproportionate amount of social work across every platform you use. People who meet you in person after seeing that photograph develop a specific expression, the expression of someone who ordered based on the menu photo and received the actual dish. Women use the word cute. Cute is the financial equivalent of breaking even. You are no longer losing, but you are not compounding yet. You buy accessories and grooming products trying to find the one variable that closes the gap. You are optimizing inputs when the output requires more time, not more products. At a formal event, wearing the first well-fitted suit you have ever owned, something shifts. A woman uses a different word, not cute. The word she uses means something that requires bone structure carrying its share of the weight. You feel it for 30 seconds on the drive home. The sensation of what it might mean to have the room adjust around your presence instead of continuing without it. Then it passes, but you felt it. And felt information is different from understood information. It stays in the body differently. 2 years of consistent deposits produce a return the market can price without being told to. You cross a threshold. There is no notification. The world simply begins to behave differently. A service worker makes real eye contact and adds a syllable that is not required by their job description. You spend 20 minutes afterward analyzing what it meant, because this level does what moderate social capital always does to the brain. It turns neutral interactions into open investigations. Family members make comments that reveal they have noticed a change they cannot fully name. They describe it the way people describe weather, as if the shift happened to you, not because of you. Your former partner begins observing your public presence with increased attention. You post a photograph with no particular intention. The judgment that once moved away from you reverses direction. This is the specific, nameless return on a long investment that nobody else witnessed being made. At a social event, a woman approaches and addresses you directly, not the socially dominant person beside you, both of you equally. The person beside you notices the math change, not with resentment, with something more precise, recalibration. You look at your own reflection in a car window with no favorable lighting, no preparation, no angle. You look acceptable under honest conditions. The comparison that was once a punchline is now simply a gap on a staircase with visible steps. 3 years of progressive change crossed a line that produces a structural shift, not just a social one. Bartenders remember your name after one visit, not because you tip unusually well, because your face is easy to file. You are served before people who arrived before you. The world has a priority queue, and you have been added to it without applying. Your professional environment begins treating your presence as an asset. Meetings are scheduled around your availability. Colleagues with stronger formal credentials receive fewer informal opportunities. They attribute it to luck or politics. The mechanism is older than both. A woman initiates conversation and laughs before you finish your sentence. She has already decided. Your words are confirming a decision she made visually. The distance between your earliest level, where months of effort produced 3 digital interactions, one of which was automated, and this bar, on this night, is not a miracle. It is a compounding curve reaching its visible phase. Old friends begin making comments framed as humor. The tone is light. The information inside the tone is not. You cannot discuss what the change has cost or what it has taken, because the only socially acceptable complaint about attractiveness is silence. You check the mirror before leaving. Once. Not out of anxiety. Out of the same neutral confirmation a professional checks their equipment before a presentation. The mirror is now a tool, not a question. At level 6, your face has become an economic instrument operating in parallel with your actual competence. You are hired for a position where your formal qualifications are the weakest in the room. The decision is made in the first minutes of a conversation that lasts nearly an hour. A colleague who is more qualified and more experienced asks HR what criteria were used. The answer is a category without measurable definition. Strangers perform small services without being asked. Doors held, orders expedited, attention given without a transaction. This is not kindness, it is the halo effect operating at scale. The brain assigns positive attributes to attractive faces automatically, before any evidence is gathered. You run a small experiment at a dinner. You make an observation that is not particularly clever. People around you respond as if it is. You escalate deliberately. A statement that is genuinely unremarkable. The laughter continues. You are now watching your own face function as a signal amplifier. Your words are being processed through a filter that makes them land better than they are. The filter is your appearance. You did not install it. Other people are running it. A partner who met you at this level has no reference point for the earlier ones. She perceives your effortlessness as a choice. She is not wrong. It is a choice built on years of work she never witnessed. The people around you begin to understand, without being told, that the game has different starting positions. Your existence makes that visible in a way that is uncomfortable to look at directly. At a formal fundraising event, a man in an expensive suit places a professional contract on the table in front of you. You look at your reflection in the floor-to-ceiling glass behind him. The city lights are behind you. The face looking back at you spent years being the one the camera forgot. You take the card. You entered the professional image industry not for status, but because someone was willing to pay a number that made the decision straightforward. The images go online. Your social following multiplies by a factor of 17 in a week. Your grandmother passed away 8 weeks ago. Her memorial post received 47 responses from people who loved her. A photograph of your face in good light receives 50 times that. The platform does not distinguish. The platform measures engagement, and your bone structure engages people. A friend who trained beside you in the early levels, who believed in the project before it had evidence, now finds that your public presence has destabilized something in his relationship. His partner is not pursuing you. She is projecting onto an image. The image has no personality, no flaws, no history. You show him. He directs his frustration toward you. Your existence near his relationship is being classified as a liability. The friend group has a fracture. You did not cause it, but your face is the surface the fracture runs along. Women in professional settings provide unsolicited contact information. Strangers in other cities have your photograph as a default screen. Someone you never met is waking up every morning to a version of you that has no voice, no difficulty, no 3 a.m. obsessive research spirals, no 400 failed photographs. They have built something in their imagination using your image as the foundation. The building they constructed is not you. You lie awake aware that the version of you spreading through other people's phones is a clean copy with all the difficult parts removed. The gap between the copy and the original is not something you can close. You can only watch it widen. A 40-foot version of your face appears on a billboard in a major city promoting a product you have never used. A stranger photographs the billboard, turns around, and sees you standing on the pavement behind her. Her speech fails, not dramatically, mechanically. The system that produces words shuts down for several seconds. You say one syllable. She cannot respond to it. This is the level where your appearance causes physical interference in other people's functioning. A driver in traffic rearranges the relationship between his vehicle and the one ahead of it because his attention moved to you crossing the street. A medical professional with decades of training drops an instrument during a routine procedure because your face is in front of them. You are no longer just benefiting from the attractiveness premium. You are generating external costs that other people absorb. A woman who once dismissed you as not worth pursuing has since built a public narrative around the memory of that encounter. The narrative has hundreds of thousands of listeners. She is mourning a version of you that was assembled entirely from her imagination. She does not know about the years of early morning discipline, the failed photographs, the 11 seconds in a fluorescent bathroom. She is grieving a myth. A border official at an international checkpoint looks at an expired travel document, looks at you, and decides that the gap between them is acceptable. A federal process paused because of the geometry of your face. You did not ask for this. You also did not decline it. You call someone from the earliest levels. You go to the same physical location where he once placed his arm around you as a gesture of inclusion that was also a verdict. You stand in front of the mirror that night and count to 11, not because you need an anchor, because you want to remember that you once did. You return to the venue where the original social verdict was delivered. You do not have a reservation. It does not matter. The woman who told him years ago that his association with you was an act of generosity is standing near the bar. She does not recognize you. There is no reason she would, but her body runs its automatic recalibration program the moment you enter her visual field. She adjusts, she straightens. She does the thing that you used to do every time you walked into a room where the hierarchy was already established without you. He watches this happen. He says 7 words that contain 8 years. A surgeon in one city has your image classified under aspirational reference. A woman in another has your face permanently marked on her skin. Not your name, your face. 2 wealthy men in different countries retained legal counsel over a calendar dispute concerning your social availability. You were at home watching a nature documentary about deep-sea predators. You found their bioluminescent survival strategy more interesting than the litigation. A cafe in Milan, you sneeze. A woman nearby makes an evaluative comment as an involuntary reflex. She did not authorize the thought. It arrived before she could review it. You have not paid for a meal in 3 years. This is not a story you tell. It is simply a condition of your daily logistics, like distance to work or the time your building's elevator takes. At level 1, a photographer trimmed you from a family photograph without noticing. Restaurants now tag your presence in their own photographs as a form of social credentialing. The direction of the cropping reversed. You became the frame instead of the figure that did not fit inside it. You leave the party late. Outside, a young woman is standing on the pavement across the street. Her clothes do not fit the way she intends them to. Something about the way she holds herself reveals that she is still in the phase of the process where effort is enormous and evidence is small. She looks at you the way you once looked at people who occupied levels you could not yet imagine reaching. She does not know about the years. She sees only the result. She takes out her phone and searches for where to begin. She is going to do all of it. The research, the discipline, the failed photographs, the 11 seconds in fluorescent light when counting is the only thing that feels stable. You walk to your car. The mirror inside catches your face. You do not count. Behind you, across the street, she is already counting. The attractiveness premium is real. It is documented, and it is one of the least discussed forms of compounding advantage in modern economic life. It does not operate through conspiracy. It operates through thousands of small, automatic decisions made by human brains that were never asked to be fair. What makes it function like a financial instrument is that the returns are not linear, they compound. Each level of perceived attractiveness opens access to the next set of inputs that generate the next level of return. The people who understand this system make different decisions, not necessarily about appearance, but about every form of social capital that operates by the same logic. Confidence, communication, positioning, reputation, network proximity. All of these accumulate the same way, slowly, then visibly, then in ways that look like luck from the outside. The invisible phase is not a failure state. It is the accumulation phase. Every high-return asset has one, the phase where capital is going in and nothing visible is coming out. Most people stop during the invisible phase because the account balance looks like evidence that the investment is wrong. It is not evidence of that. It is evidence of where you are on the curve. The woman across the street with her phone out, searching for where to begin, is not behind. She is at the start of a compounding process that will look, from the outside, like a sudden change when it surfaces. The question worth sitting with is not what level you are at. The question is whether you understand that every level is a temporary position, not a permanent identity. Systems that compound reward patience and consistency at a rate that punishes neither. They simply require that you remain in the process long enough for the curve to show its shape. The floor you are standing on right now is not the ceiling. It never was.